Let's go.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you all for being here. This is just an informal session. My name is Heather Louise Finch. I'm the Executive Director of Communication, Planning, and Engagement for Nash County Public Schools. I'm actually a native of Nash County. I'm from Bailey originally. Went to Bailey Elementary, Southern Nash Middle, Southern Nash High School, moved away. Guess what? I came back. So I'm excited to be here with you all. And in particular, the specific subjects we're going to be reviewing tonight are important as it's a part of our department. We also have Miss Michelle Royster, who's here. She'll be popping in a few minutes to help out and with these conversations. And then Caroline Johnston, who's also in the room. She is the one who creates all the lovely, beautiful graphics and photos of everyone. So thank you all again. And I know it's a small crowd, but that's fine because that way we can help. And perhaps the questions that you all ask this evening, if people are to watch this later, that might help answer some of those questions too. So informal, conversational, and just get friendly. So Power School Parent Portal, we were having a little bit of conversation about that right before. And do I have a clicker? If you can click to the next slide. Thought I had control. 1 second. Got it. These are some fun pictures that said Caroline took some photos of at the beginning of the school year. So we're going to review the Power School Parent Portal, our Nash County Public Schools app, rooms, and the updated model release form. So if you don't have the app, that's okay, but we encourage you to download the app if you can. It is located on all of our schools' websites. In the bottom right-hand side, a link to download the Apple version as well as the Android version. We're going to start off with talking about Power School Parent Portal and the Nash County Public Schools app. So this also, we have several tutorials and videos on YouTube that different teams have put together to try to help explain all the things. So as a parent, in the state of North Carolina, when your child enters school, they're enrolled at a school and they become a part of Power School. So Power School is the SIS, and that's where the information about your child is stored, such as their address, the parent guardian information. And why is that important? Well, for obvious reasons, to connect with the parents and the guardians. Within Power School, the parent portal was created. And the only way that the parent portal account can be created is when a parent or custodial guardian shows a form of identification to the school to prove that that's the custodial guardian of said child. And then that's when they're able to receive access to create that Power School parent portal account. What we've noticed is that sometimes parents aren't receiving information about their student, about their child, and that's going back to the data that we don't have or that we do have on file for that child. And it could be a data entry error, it could be a change of phone number or a change of address, something as simple as an email address with the wrong number or letter, and we don't know that they're not getting it, or that we know that we don't know that they're not getting it, or the teacher doesn't know that the parent's not getting it. So that's something that when the teachers, especially in elementary, send out the forms at the beginning of the year to correct any information, it's important for the children to submit it back to the school to make sure that contact information is right. With that being said, we also have an app, and that app, within the app, it's for all of our schools as well. And that's where updates that the principals put out for things that are happening in the district or at their school, the bus, the transportation alerts and all the fun things. And it's a new thing for all of our schools, and it's new for our administrators as well. So thank you all for being patient as they learn how to push these things out through these new messaging techniques, if you will. The reason why the app was created was way before I started. We have a family ambassador group, which Michelle Oyster heads up, and it's a part of our communication and planning and engagement department. And it's a parent advisory council. And they did a lot of different studies and received stakeholder feedback from those parents throughout the past couple of years of what was working, what seemed not to work, and what they would like to see as far as receiving communication. So some folks don't check their email. Some folks don't like text. Some people really hate it when you send them a phone call. And I know because it's usually my voice going out. So you can't please, you have about 14,000 kids in a system. Take that number and double it for parents or guardians. So we try to touch all the different bases of how we can communicate with our families, because at the end of the day, our job's not done if we can't touch that parent in a communication standpoint. And that's a struggle, because sometimes folks change their number and they might change it 50 times in a year. And so we know they're not getting something for their child, and that information for that child is critical for the success of their child and their child's future. So Power School is mentioned as our school information system. So that's where all student data is kept and secure. Within that, we have a very secure network, and I'll take a moment to congratulate and say how grateful we are to have our technology department. It's one of the best in the state as far as cybersecurity protection. And we take a lot of pride in making sure that the information that we have going back and forth on the networks at all the schools, and that different things are not accessible on the networks at schools, and they do a wonderful job, and they're very well known for the security measures that they put in place, and also working with our staff to make sure they don't click on the wrong thing, because a lot of times any organization can get targeted with spam. So I just wanted to give them a shout out there. So the problem with receiving information, again, is if information's not updated. And what we need help, our team needs help on, is making sure that the schools have the right information. So if your address changes or email, telling the assistant principal or the person at the front desk, but then making sure, hey, did you get that? Following up and communicating with them. It's just those little things. And Parent Portal is, again, its access is only granted via identification. And this is where parents can go in and check on the grades and some assignments. There's the other, was it Canva, which is where Canvas, and that's where the middle and high school, I believe, can go and check on the grades. And that's not in our department, but there is also a wonderful video that we have on YouTube and presentation on our website, which Danny and his team put together, which we'll include in the link portion of this YouTube video that's going to be replayed so people can access that for help. This is just a step through process of a parent portal. So step one, you would request the parent portal printout at the school, go to the child's website listed on the printout, create the account, and then link the student to your account. And this can be done, you can sign up on the website at home or at the school after you receive the access code from showing your ID. Okay, click. Did it really die? Okay, I'm going to move on. 1 second. If you want to take out your phone and take the camera out and snap, if you're going to snap a photo of the square, you'll be able to download the Nash County Public Schools app. You've probably seen this around Nash County. So when we put out the yard signs, or in early August. We did this very strategically. We worked with the county and our department who oversees the Power School parent portal, and we went in and we took the addresses, not information like names or students of that nature, but we took the addresses and then we created a map of the county, and we looked at the addresses of, not the addresses, but the areas of where fiber network is laid, and where internet access is available across the county. And so we were trying to find a correlation of, okay, if people who are more connected into parent portal, is that where there's lack of access to internet? And there is a correlation with that. So for example, where I'm from in Bailey, the internet's horrible, and they're now just laying out fiber in certain areas, and you can't get cellular service unless you're out in the field. It just depends on where you are, or if you're near Vitar River, you're not going to get cell phone service. And so when you have lack of being able to be online, it's going to prohibit families to be able to have an app, and also prevent them to download or be able to have access to Power School Parent Portal, which is important. So by looking at that, that's where we targeted putting the yard signs with this information, to get people onboarded, to be able to, like, these are the points of contact on a map of where we need to target these families to help get them connected, if that makes sense. So within the first month and a half, I honestly thought we would get 5,000 downloads by May 2024, but we exceeded 10,000 within just about about a month and a half to 2 months, which was crazy. And to date, we now have the highest level of rooms usage across the country for school districts that match our demographics from a rural standpoint, from how many schools we have, from the language and all the socioeconomic demographics that represent the county that are matched up across the United States with the parent company Apogee. So that was a good sign to us that we're doing something right, but it can still be better. So rooms. So rooms, it facilitates effective communication between the teachers and the parents within Nash County Public Schools. So this highlights our role in reducing liability risk, and also enhances the transparency and accountability. Enhancing transparency means that you can have a safe way where you can talk to your child's teacher. When I say safe, what I mean is it's going to stay within, I think that it's important in any type of entity, company, organization, educational institution, that you have it either on email or within rooms, the messaging. So it's there, it can't be deleted. Anything that you may send to the teacher that might be about your child with concerns, it's going to be there. And that way it hopefully opens up more of a door of trust for what you're trying to communicate. And again, that goes with the documented communication. So if you do have concerns, or if you do have things you would like to learn more about, you know it's there, and you can follow back up with your child's teacher and say, hey, I asked about this. Or roles reverse, the teachers followed up with you all, or a parent or guardian, I've sent this out. Can you please provide feedback on this? Or, hey, so-and-so's experiencing this. And that way you can go back and see, yes, they've reached out to me. This is when these things have happened. And you just stay informed. I'm going through this rather quickly so we can just dive into conversation. So people who are like me, who even though I preach downloading apps and on your cell phone, I still love a desktop because it hurts my eyes sometimes. So we have EDU rooms, which you can log into on a desktop or on an app, on a like an iPad or another tablet device. and you can access rooms from that place as well. Also, on all the websites for our schools, on the right-hand side, there's a little toggle that says room support, like circled in this graphic. So, Mr. McQueen, you can turn off the PowerPoint. I'm going to jump into the model release form updates before we dive into a deep conversation. And Ms. Royster, you can come join me up here. So there's a loaded conversation to be had when it comes to the updated Parents' Bill of Rights, Senate Bill 49. And I'm not the person to dive into all of that, but I am the person to dive into the model release forms. And so I just wanted to give an update on what that is and what parents and guardians can expect for that. So are you familiar with your child's in a yearbook or the forms that you fill out every year if you want to opt out your child to have their picture taken or their video or use for social media? Are y'all familiar with that? And so most people are fine with that, which is fine. It makes our life easier when we go take pictures. But some aren't. And sometimes you may have like religious preferences where you're not supposed to have your picture taken or whatnot. It's your parent's choice. So because of this law that was just updated and put into place beginning on January 1, 2024, in order for a child's image to be used, beginning in January 1, 2024, the child has to be opted in, which means if that form is not completed, it would be assumed opted out. So this is a big change.
So you're going to have to send all the forms back out for people to sign?
Yeah. So what we're doing to hopefully mitigate a lot during the holidays and also help our teachers, because this is the last thing they probably want on their plate right before we enter the holiday season. So within rooms, we've created, our parent company has, for the app, has established a grade level per school. So you have kindergarten through 5th or K2, and then middle school and high school. And what we've decided to do would be the best thing is, why are you filling this out every year? Why? I mean, all the things, right? And we took a look at what all the other districts are doing. They're not doing it every year. So with this model release form, inside of rooms, and information will be sent out probably over the weekend and beginning next week with where you can find it. It will be a mandatory inside of rooms in the material section. There's a folder that says mandatory. Inside of that mandatory folder, which is blue, you can open a link and do it online digitally. Do your opt-in consent. And the reason why this is awesome, which goes back to the SIS conversation at the beginning, because if you log into rooms, it's already authenticated with PowerSchool, which means that it's secure. We know it's the parent or guardian, and it takes out the whole in-between part of reinventing the wheel of, is this person the right person or not? So it authenticates that. And to us, that's important because we don't want a child to forge it, and B, we want to make sure it's right. So we're starting that off first with the rooms. Now, what we've done is taken all the students per each school whose parents are not signed up in rooms yet, the pending accounts, like some of you here, and we'll be contacting those families. It's like, hey, these are the things that are happening, and so people will know, because again, we want to make sure we can touch everyone to make sure they're all communicated to. So I think it will be easier on parents, maybe have it on their phone or online to be able to do it digitally, and you don't have to lose the form. But we'll also have paper forms available as well and I like paper too, so it's okay. But Yeah, so it's going to be important for us, and we need y'all's help with spreading the word on these release forms, the model release forms. You have to be opted in. So what does that mean about pictures that have already been taken or videos? Every photo and picture that has been taken up until until December 31st, 2023, if your child is opted in, not opted out, and their photo's been taken and stuff, those photos can still be used. They've been safely secured and marked, and that helps also the teachers and the schools know when those photos and everything else was taken. Is organized, so that way when new stuff is pushed out, um, it can be documented of when that took place. Does that make sense? I feel like when you talk about something so many times, like, am I making sense on this? But do y'all have any questions about it? No.
Can you clarify this for everyone? Opting in is and what it's not.
Yeah.
As far as when we're looking at the schools, inside the schools, taking pictures for the CUNY folders, those things we still can do, right? And having like our camera systems.
Oh.
So that does not opt them out. So if we have something going on, if you have a video or cameras in the hallway and you see your child is, that does not mean we can't record them.
Yes. So there's a difference between security cameras versus versus this. This is for, again, like that's a great question. So the question was opting in, opting out in regards to footage, because security cameras are obviously used for safety reasons, and I'm not the person to speak on about safety, but this is specifically for like social media, publications, press releases, all the beautiful graphics that Caroline Johnston makes, using pictures and such. Also for interviews that we do with the YouTube videos. And most parents are fine with that. And as you know, especially the elementary, it's cool to see your kid on the little Facebook groups when they have their spirit weeks. Like they have 10 spirit weeks a semester, I swear. But anyways, are there any questions about that? Do y'all have any ideas of how we could help spread this message to families about these new policies?
Easiest way would be to send out a piece of paper to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the easiest way.
Right. And then we just also know of the update, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, considering I'm not on rooms yet.
Yeah, well, you're going to be before you leave here tonight.
I have to jet out of here at about 10 till. 'Cause I gotta
Okay.
pick up my kid from karate.
All right. Well, we're going to dive into rooms then. Do y'all need help with room support?
Yeah,
Okay.
I need parent portal
So
first.
what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna let curtail this video because it's a live recording. But for those that are watching right now or in the future, please contact us. If you go to the Nash County Public Schools website, ncpsschools.net, there on the right-hand side, there's a toggle called Room Support. If you click on that, you can sign up to get help. It's a Google form, I believe, but you can also, if you go to the communications, planning and engagement department, you can find our PR email address and just email that. And our team is happy to help, and we're here to help you and support you. And that's our job. So please reach out, and we'll get you connected, and also connect with your school to make sure that your principal connects with you as well. Thank you all so much. And thank you, Technology Department. Maine, we're finished.